Why on earth would they want to spend the money to develop a full-blown game when they can throw their incomplete piece of trash out on the market and you morons will bend right over and buy it? I wouldn't make a full-blown game if I knew there was millions of morons out there, cap-cock guzzlers, that would buy my game. I wouldn't. You guys are telling them it's okay. Where's the digital love, huh? Where's the love for gaming? Where's the passion, gamers? Where is it? You don't have it. All you people buying Capcom's incomplete games and then purchasing all their DLC, you don't love gaming. You don't. Don't tell me you do.
Well, folks, welcome back. This is your Immortal Afro Josh, and I figured, you know, since my previous video, I talked enough about Activision. I said my piece on Toys for Bob, and I think I did a good enough job elaborating the issue about why Spyro the Reignited Trilogy being shipped incomplete is a problem. But it still seems as if there is a certain group of people that don't understand, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to avoid another delay. How addicted to a game do you have to be to completely turn your back on the integrity of gaming? Just like how addicted do you have to really be? I understand that there's love for certain games, or you're really excited for certain games, but to go out of your way and damage control and damage control and damage control. Tell me if you heard this one. Hey guys, the first game is 30 gigabytes, so it only makes sense that they don't, you know, it's funny. The general consensus for for this game, the Reignited Trilogy, when that first trailer dropped, was that, man, everybody will get a chance to play this game and experience the Spyro we all grew up with back in the day, when he was at his best. Sprinkle a little bit of controversy on there and a publisher just doing whatever the fuck they want, and what do you get? The entire community caves in because they cannot grasp the possibility we may have to wait a little bit longer for this game. If we don't shut up and just do what Activision says, they might delay the game again.
We gotta get out of here. Come on, Morty. Are you okay? I'm fine. Oh, good. If anything ever happened to you, I would kill myself. I love you bad, Momo.
Wow. Weak. Weak. That's all that is. Have you guys been paying attention to what's been going on at BlizzCon? Because that's the same publisher, Activision, decided to try their hand with another game community. You know, coming off of such an easy win off of the Spyro Community, they figure like, you know what, we got those dumbasses to do whatever we wanted. Let's see if we can do the same thing over here to the Diablo Community. Just say some shit and just think that they'll go with it. And it didn't go well.
Hey, just was wondering, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
No, it's a fully.
Well, would you look at that? Standards and expectations. Unlike in the Spyro community, where every other person commenting on the subreddit is trying to defend or just write off any criticism of the Reignited Trilogy. Now, this kind of makes me want to separate this community into two different parts. The Spyro fans, people who care about gaming and have general concerns, because even though you're a fan of something, it doesn't mean that thing that you like is above criticism. Because criticism is good for things. It's what allows you to make certain judgment calls on it, see if there's something that they can do better. Like, for example, Spyro Enter the Dragonfly. A fair criticism of that game is that it's a bad game. It's not a good game. It was not a good game. And on the other half, you have these irrational fanboys who will do anything to please their purple dragon god. Even if it means siding with one of the most devious publishers on the market right now. It took literally nothing for these people to just completely go apeshit, full-on damage control for Activision. Working for free, filling up all the YouTube comments and the subreddits and trying to downvote anybody who criticizes that game. Because God forbid, if we find something else to complain about, find something else about that game to complain about, they might delay it again. And we can't have that, now can we? This is why my primary gaming platform is the PC. Because over there, the majority, from what I gather, of people who play on a PC care enough about gaming to have standards. Okay? They want things to be good. They don't want anything to devolve. They don't want publishers to just come around and say whatever they want. A good example of that is the backlash you hear from the Diablo community. After those dumbasses unveiled that shit game that nobody asked for, and they completely got fisted up the ass by the Diablo community and lost, from what I've heard, $3.7 billion in revenue or stocks or whatever because of how disastrous that reveal was. That is the power for those of you in the Spyro community who are so quick to give up, saying, there's nothing we can do. This is just the way gaming is now. First of all, speak for yourself. Don't just say there's nothing we can do. There's nothing that you are willing to do because you're too busy focused on this one game rather than the integrity of gaming as a whole. You just care about this one game that you're gonna probably play hardcore for like a month and then just go back to doing whatever you're doing now. You're letting your irrational love for a single game supersede what should be your unconditional love for gaming itself. Does that make sense to you? And does that sound right to you? It's amazing how quick so many people will turn against me for criticizing Activision's method of distribution and Toys for Bob's non-answering of certain questions in interviews, as if we're all satisfied with them giving us the same bland answers to the same bland questions that no one really cares about. When you ask about things that matter, oh well, we can't share that right now, or we're just gonna downplay it, or we're just gonna not answer it outright. I guess that is the standard. That is what the Spyro community expects. Low standards or no standards. Now, of course, when I say the Spyro community, I don't want to lump everybody in the community in there, all right? Because there is a significant amount of people who do genuinely care about the fact that this game is shipping incomplete. And they should, because as the consumer, they deserve to have some type, at least, explain to them why this is happening, and it has to be a good reason. Now, of course, there hasn't been a good reason, because the only reason that people can come up with, people damage controlling for Activision at this point, is that, man, well, the game is 55 gigabytes and a dual layer disc can only hold 50 gigabytes, so it wouldn't make any sense for them to invest in a whole nother CD to put 5 gigabytes of information on. Don't you think that's a little weird for you to be worried about? Where were you when all these other games were being shipped on multiple discs? Did you just not care then? Oh wait, the only reason why you care now is because Spyro's attached to it. If this was any other game, you wouldn't give a rat's ass. You would be like, well, I mean, whatever, games come on multiple discs, no biggie. I figured with this new gen, this current gen, that Blu-ray disc would be big enough, but these consoles have a cutoff at 50 gigabytes, and for as long as we've been making games, they've always put games on multiple discs when they needed to. But I have a feeling Activision was kind of conditioning the Spyro community, setting them up for this, because they knew this community was so parched, so thirsty, so in dire need of a new good Spyro game that this publisher just could not provide. For years, they either got a shitty game, droughts, or an offbeat reboot. And so finally, when they realized, well, we can't make a new game for these guys, so let's just redo the old games, but tie a mandatory online functionality to this single-player offline experience. They'll buy it because these guys are so desperate for a new Spyro game, they couldn't care. And if that's what they were talking about in that in their room, in the boardroom meeting, they were exactly right. Because go look at any Spyro, any channel that covers Spyro exclusively. Everybody in the comments will be like, "Yeah, man, I don't know why everyone's complaining, man. You know, okay, games being sold incomplete, whatever. We'll deal with that later. I just want to play the game now." You guys do not love gaming. You don't. Because if you did, you would care even a little bit about those who do not have access to the best internet to download anywhere between 5 to 20 gigabytes of additional data for this game to work. Don't you think that's a little messed up? The consumer has to jump through even more hoops after jumping through all the hoops they need to at their day job to acquire the money to pay for the product. They not only have to do that once they get the physical product, because you know they don't have good internet, they have to get the physical product, go home, and then they gotta play another game. Man, how am I going to download the rest of this game that I bought, I spent all my money on? How am I going to get the rest of the game? and it's like, you should hear some of the apathetic responses that are within the Spyro community. Why don't you just go to your friend's house? Why don't you just do this? Hey, stop being such a poor fuck and just go down to the McDonald's and use the Wi-Fi, you peasant. You're not good enough to enjoy this game anyway. If you were a real Spyro fan, you'd have fiber optic internet wherever you are. Where I live, we are just now, like they're still digging holes in the ground, just now getting fiber optics, just now. Man, I thought the general consensus was, oh man, everyone will get to enjoy the game. Everyone will get to enjoy the game. Nope. Soon as someone threatens, like, yeah, well, if you don't get this game the way it is now, then we'll delay it again. And they're like, oh no, well, yeah, just bring it out, 1/3 complete, we'll buy it. Well, fuck all those other guys. Man, like that is pathetic. That is beyond sad. This is the Spyro community. We'll turn our backs on our own if it means we can get the game. It's like I'm imagining there being like a standoff where this evil guy with a gun pointing it to one guy and talking to the other like, so Ethan, which will it be? Will it be this Spyro 1/3 the game? Or your friend gaming, who got you into Spyro in the first place? Choose wisely. And then they're gonna be over there, Spyro. Just give me the Spyro. I want the Spyro. And then their friend is like, dude, what the fuck? Bang. That's basically what you guys have opted for. Man, that is that's sad. And like and to damage control so hard for Activision. These guys haven't given you a good Spyro game yet. The only reason this one's good is because they finally realized no matter how many reboots we come up with, no matter how many new ideas we attempt, we will never be able to match the original games that Insomniac built 20 years ago. So let's just take that, copy pasta, and add online as a mandatory function to it. And you guys bought it. Well done. Well done. That restraint is not admirable. Weak. Well, okay, so how about this? I don't want to sound petty. I really do hope that game works for you. when you get it. I really hope so, because if that game is marred by any type of, you know, optimization issues because of how they decided to distribute this game, that is going to not only look bad for Toys for Bob, and, you know, it'll be like Tuesday for Activision, but it will look even worse for you, because you did all that work and the game still didn't run properly. But like I said, I hope it runs fine. I really hope it does. And I hope it was worth it. I really do. What I've been doing this entire time was trying to achieve a better game for everybody. Not just you, not just me, everybody. Everybody deserves a chance to play the Reignited Trilogy. But no matter how well off you think everyone should be, that's not the case. Because there are plenty of people out there, some of which who haven't even upgraded to the next gen consoles yet. And there could be a few people out there thinking, like, you know, this game would be the game to make me do that. Only to find out that you need to put in more work after buying this game in order to enjoy it. How dare you? Shame on you, consumer. Man, like I said, low expectations, probably no expectations. Good job, guys. Good job. I hope you enjoy that game as much as you can, and I'm sure some of you will. I will wait until a PC release. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to play Otogi, Mythical Warriors, and Otogi 2, because the Xbox or Microsoft, they haven't updated their backwards compatibility store. I think they're only up to, what, 19 games? If they updated the rest of them, that'd be something, but Otogi, or Otogi, however you want to pronounce it, isn't on there yet. But luckily, I kept my physical copy, and I kept my OG Xbox, because I cannot trust that these game companies will give me the option to be able to play these games years down the line. Think about that. I'm your Immortal Afro Josh. Thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a comment below, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.